Welcome back, Achievement Hunters, to Dyson Sphere Program. In our last playthrough, our goal was to get the One Giant Leap for Mankind achievement. Now that we've got it, we should be able to relax. However, it looks like the 50% resource option is starting to rear its ugly head. For now, I fixed up the base, I moved my hub, and built some dedicated research factories. I also unlocked Universe Exploration Level 2, which lets me see all the resources in my system. If we take a look, everything is pretty decent, except for iron, one of the most important ones. I only have a little over 2 million to work with. It's totally within reason to restart the game and pick a different seed since I've only played an hour. But where's the fun in that? Before we continue, let's review the achievements we got last time, since quite a few of them happened during the time lapse. Burning 40 wood and 100 plants happens pretty quickly. They'll be the first achievements you'll get. Consuming 1 gigajoule of power is a lot easier than it sounds. The power from 10 windmills will get you this in only 5 minutes. Depleting a vein will happen eventually. This one was quick for me because one of the veins of iron only had 200 ore on it. You can get this achievement easily by running around without any fuel, or you can do it like I did and struggle with building for 3 minutes. "20 megawatts of power is easy, especially after you unlock and start building coal power. And of course, the point of our last video. We landed on another planet within an hour and only used coal to get there. We went to the gas giant to pick up 20 hydrogen. Then we finished off with our last achievement and became space junk. This left us with a total of 10 achievements. Now that our base is all cleaned up and running research in the background, let's go get ourselves a few more achievements. The first 3 are pretty easy and involve gathering titanium and silicon from stone and organic crystals from trees. Titanium is pretty easy since you'll always get some from the large rock formations. Silicon is random and a lot more rare, so just keep gathering from rocks until you get 100. Organic crystals are also random, but common enough that you might get this just from farming for fuel. There's also an achievement where you have to handcraft organic crystals using the original recipe that requires wood and plants. Simply drop down a water pump to farm some water, then make 20 of them. This next one has some tricky rules to it. While the no diving achievement only says have a mecha run out of energy and fall into water, what it's actually asking for is run out of energy in very deep water. You'll need to find water that's deep enough that Icarus's head is almost submerged in order for this achievement to work. This next one is also simple. Rename a planet. Let's do that now. Another simple one, copy and save a blueprint. You get this achievement when you click the Save Blueprint button. The Power Surge achievement comes from using 12 wireless power towers to charge a mecha at the same time. To do this, organize your towers as close as possible in a plus shape like this. If they're not all in range of you, you might have to move up or down the equator to get it to work. It also won't trigger unless they're all actively charging. This next one is pretty fun. The Sonic Boom achievement says, exceed a sailing speed of 340 meters per second in the atmosphere. To do this one, fly up until you leave the ground and enter sail mode, but are still orbiting the planet. Next, move forward, press shift to accelerate, and try to maintain an orbit around the planet without going too low or too high. It might take a few tries, and takes a lot of energy every attempt, but you'll get it eventually. Next on our list is build a building at least 7 stories tall. Once you've researched vertical construction level 2, matrix slabs can be 7 stories tall, so it's just a matter of building one that high. As you continue to expand your base's power, hitting 100 megawatts of power production will come to you eventually. This next achievement will require anywhere from 150 to 250 wind generators. I did it on the second planet where I had more room. Just keep adding them until they total 60 megawatts of power. After making a bunch of titanium ingots on my second planet, the next achievement says to drop 3,000 of them into space. Just because you drop them doesn't mean you have to lose them. Items dropped in space will maintain your momentum, so to do this safely, just reduce your speed, drop them, get the achievement, then immediately pick them back up. Now we've reached a major milestone in the game where we need to start building structure matrices. These require titanium, so we'll have to fly back and forth between the other planets until interstellar logistics is researched and does the traveling for us. A while ago, I made this blueprint that helps you get some starting drones, vessels, and interstellar logistics stations as long as you feed it all the raw ingredients it needs, including a bit of titanium and silicon. All I have to do is find a place on this cramped planet where it fits, then I can get the first few started. Also, at some point when you scale things up this big, you should hit an energy consumption of 1 terajoule, giving you another achievement. Now, by pure coincidence, the seed I've chosen has given me an easy achievement. It's called The Sun Rises in the West, which says, find and land on a planet rotating on a reverse axis. In my starting system, there's a planet like this that has silicon on it. That's where we're headed to in it now. There's 3 achievements like this. You have to find and land on a planet with reverse rotation, another that's tidal locked, and another with a horizontal axis. Normally these achievements aren't available until you start warping everywhere, but today I got lucky. With a little bit of work, we can now have interstellar logistics help us move resources around, and we can start automating structure matrices without having to fly around to pick up the titanium. This next achievement requires us to establish an interstellar logistics transportation line. This happens when you have one station that supplies a resource that the other can demand. No drones or vessels are required to trigger this, just 2 matching interstellar logistics stations. Once you start building out your logistics and get things moving, it won't be long before you have 100 drones moving resources around your planet. Unlike the starting planet that's covered in water, the other 2 planets in my system have a lot of space to build on. You can build large chains of solar panels, and if you place around 800 to 1,000 of them, you can produce over 180 megawatts of power, getting you this next achievement. After researching Vertical Construction Level 4, you can unlock the I Can See My House From Here achievement, which says, get Icarus 40 meters above sea level without entering flight mode. 40 meters occurs when you stand on a building that's 10 stories tall. Since matrix labs can be built the highest, we'll use those. To get this achievement, build a single lab, then hop on top of it. Right next to you, build a matrix lab 1 story taller, then jump on that. Keep repeating this process until it's 10 levels high. If you're having trouble jumping from one lab to the other, try building closer or farther from the equator so that they're as close as possible. Once you have a supply of structure matrices, you can unlock one of the first research achievements. By researching Sorter Cargo Stacking Level 5, you'll unlock the Employee of the Month achievement. The last one we're going to get today is easier after you've unlocked Drive Engine Level 3, which increases your maximum sail speed to 2,000 meters per second. The achievement is called Before Our Time, which says, land on another planet outside the initial planetary system before unlocking warp drive. If you select the closest star from the star map, the game's indicator will tell you how long it will take to reach it. In this case, the closest star is 3 light years away, and it's going to take about 55 minutes to get there at max velocity. I hope you have something to keep yourself occupied while we do this. Before we fly out, remember to save your game first. Secondly, add an indicator to navigate towards the star. Third, fill up with fuel and energy, fly up into space, and start your hour-long trip. Once you've hit 2,000 meters per second, set a timer to remind yourself, and come back later. Let's speed this part up. Once the trip is complete, simply land on a planet to get the achievement. Remember to load the save game you created before the trip so you can continue where you left off. With all the achievements we got today, and the 10 from the last video, we should now have a total of 31 achievements. Now that we got most of the early achievements out of the way, we need to focus on our next objective: building warpers and getting resources from outside this system, and possibly reaching mission complete. I hope you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, and join me next time for even more achievement hunting.